Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of our music discussions here on the Viratic channel. Jimmy is not with me this week, but I have Joe Perez.
What's up, everybody? I don't know why I raised both hands.
We've done a video with him before. We're bringing him back because we're talking about a band that he really likes, and I kind of discovered a little bit later on, and then a new album came out this year, so we're like, let's fucking talk about it. So this week we're going to be talking about Purity Ring's album, Another Eternity. And
edit picture. And then you can edit the video and cut out what I just said.
Of course. So it came out on February 27th of 2015. Came out this year.
No, it was March 3rd. Unless that was the UK date.
I think that was the UK date. Yeah.
Okay.
For us, yes, it was.
It came out a few weeks early for us because the album leaked. I actually found a path through a couple websites, downloaded the actual leak, and got those MP3s.
I was just streaming it just over and over.
But don't illegally download music. We don't
pay
that.
artists because what they do is art, and give them money because most of them actually probably really need it. Unless they tell you to illegally download their music, then do it, because some musicians don't give a fuck.
A lot of musicians are behind their own leaks. I will say that.
Alright, so, I know you had some shit to say about, the difference between this album and Shrines. At least, really
definitely.
Really
I love Shrines. I love that album. Basically, that album was made in 2011, and the two people, I'm not sure what their, relationship is. What are their names again? Corey and,
Corin Roddick and Megan James.
Word. They never actually worked together during the production of the first album, Shrines. And then this album, they finally got to meet up in a studio in Canada and produce the whole album, which definitely sort of supports the difference in this album's style, as well as I think the album art that they chose really reflects the change in style. Although I feel like the style change has pretty much just been beefing everything up, and they're getting closer to just EDM trap instead of some underground witch house stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of electro. Well, maybe not quite electro pop, but dream pop is one of the things that was listed, and all these really chilled out electronic stuff I've been really getting into a lot. The Church's album I really got into. That was a good album, and even the newest Tegan and Sarah album had a lot of electro pop influence, and I don't know, it's nice, it's relaxing to me. I enjoy listening to it, and I got fucking hearing damage, which gives me tinnitus, so I get ringing constantly, and listening to something listening to music to help me go to sleep, it really helps. And electro pop and some acoustic indie stuff is really what I've gone to for that. And definitely this album was one of the albums that I was alright, I'm getting ready for bed, gonna throw on this album and just fucking fall asleep to just chilled out dream pop, and it's just oh, it's great. Yeah. It's a good feeling.
Definitely a good album for that. But another thing that sets out,
You're right there, buddy.
Another thing that sets apart Purity Ring from a lot of other dream pop, synth pop bands that we mentioned or that are out there is the lyrics. Definitely, their lyrics are really I know their first album they almost went for that witch house style lyrics.
They're a little
really
weird,
ominous, culty, but I think the main difference between the lyrics on this new album and the last album are that the last album, she threw in all these medieval words. She was saying doth, thou, is a bunch of stuff. This album, there's not as much. I really love that, and that whole it was really, really just medieval and had a certain vibe to it that I loved. And this album doesn't have as much of that, although it does have this really dream-like celestial quality.
A lot of it was a lot of the lyrics were actually first written by Megan but were never meant to be released in any
Yeah,
shape
they
or
were
form.
original poetry. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
they were just poetry that she made, and then when this like when all this happened, it's like, well, I got this poetry, might as well just see how it works to this music, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, that
Some
was
of
for
it's kind of fucked
Shrines.
up sounding though.
A lot of it, I don't know if you're talking about the fucked up stuff. I don't think there's any fucked up stuff. I think it's like a lot of the lyrics are just like
Well, yeah, I mean, like, kind of
very
like,
sexual in
yeah, like
like
that.
a
That's what I mean.
majestic way.
Like
It's I love it
sexual
actually.
or like kind of
But
like occult violent, like you're saying.
yeah, almost
Yeah,
like she's talking about burying bodies and like lots of
that's
stuff
what that's
in
that's
other.
not fucked up to you.
It's poetry, dude. There's more fucked up
It's art.
poetry out
It's
there.
art. I mean, that's
Um,
true. I'm not denying that.
um. So let's sort of do like a track by track.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm gonna pull up the track listing right here.
Rad.
Track listing starts with Heart Sign.
Heart Side. The first time I heard this track, I was like, Purity Ring has gone to the shitter. Because it's the first track on the album. I still think it's like definitely
It was also it was one of the singles, wasn't it?
one of the worst tracks on the album. No, the singles were Push Pull, and Body Ache. I think there may have been one other single.
Yeah, there was
But
two. Oh, it was beginning end. It was
Beginning
beginning end. Yeah,
yeah.
beginning was
The Hard Side I did not like. I still don't like it as much now, but I think it's a good opener to the album. As in like it's mellow and it brings in the melody and like the way that the album progresses from there is good.
it kind of brings you into like the general feel of it. Like it's like you said, it's a little bit different than the older stuff. So it definitely kind of like shows off the new style like a little bit. It's like, all right, this is a little bit more like dream poppy, a little less like witch house kind of stuff, and like kind of gets you ready for that.
Yeah. And then the lyrics are just like the lyrics are the same type of really like it's definitely like a full on love song. As some of the songs in this album are completely not that. But it fits pretty well. All right, next track is Body Ache, right?
Yep.
Which is a really good song. And that one sort of I think the album sort of like continue as it goes on. It sort of like you have to pay more attention to the album as it goes on. You can't just leave it in the background. It just gets a lot better as it's going, and it sort of reaches like the first next level in that for the track Body Ache, and that sort of it just has like the really like epic chorus with the melody and like things. It's sort of that Purity Ring style where it's like everything sort of fuses together and just happens and it's magical because that's sort of their music style.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's nothing really else that I have to say about that one.
Yeah.
I think you hit it. Then it was Push Pull. Yep, Push Pull, which was one of the singles. I think was the first one I heard. Actually,
it was when I
it was
heard that
song. Because I was talking to Jimmy because we were originally gonna do Shrines with you, and then Jimmy's like, "Oh, is it this?" and sent me Push Pull. I'm like, "Oh, I haven't heard this."
I heard that like probably at least within a few days after it came out, the single.
Yeah. I think
I was
to
like
it
at first I wasn't
after.
sure what to think of it. Like I really loved Purity Ring's older style, or like the Shrine style pretty much.
Yeah.
And, it was deviating from that a good amount, but I've definitely grown to love that song.
Yeah,
but it's
definitely
not my favorite on the album. It's like in the middle.
Yeah, I kind of see the same. Like, I listened to it, and I was like, "Oh, okay." It's I kind of realized like it's a bit different. It's a little bit more like this whole album's like just feels a little bit more upbeat than the last one. But I heard this song and I was like, all right, I can get behind this. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, it still has that.
And I was like, when does this album come out? Like it kind of hit the spark in me because it's like I didn't know this album was coming out, and I heard this song. I was like, ooh, new album.
Yeah, I didn't know they were having a new album until that song came out, and I was like, well, I am definitely excited for this.
Yeah. And then next was Repetition. I know you really like that.
Yeah, Repetition is another song where it just like takes the album to another level. It just in terms of like the lyrics and the production and the melodies and everything just come together. in a really cohesive way that is just ethereal and majestic. Yeah.
You like the word majestic.
Well, majestic's good damn word
Yeah,
to
no, it's a
describe
good
this whole
one.
album.
Yeah. We had a Facebook chat when we were like, when this album came out, we were all talking about it, me, Joe, and Jimmy, because we knew we wanted to talk about it on the show, but unfortunately Jimmy can't be here today.
Sad.
It's WrestleMania. So, one of the things that we were talking about is like repetition was a good change of pace, which is like sounds really ironic because like it's one of the points of the album where it's like Joe said, as it goes on, like the songs become more and more like you just gotta sit there with it. Like you can't listen to the album and then like do something else. Like there's like gonna be moments in the album where you just kind of have to go, oh wait, I just gotta.
Like whoa!
What just happened?
Yeah, that's definitely.
And this is definitely one of the points of the album where it's just like it kind of like grabs you back in, like yo, pay the fuck attention. And I really like that because when an album does that to me, and it's just like this is not background. Listen.
It was a nice change of pace because the way the album started off was not interesting to me as much. But then it really catches you off guard, I think, at least your first listen. And then I think when you listen to it maybe 3-4 times over, you start to hear what she's actually saying in the lyrics and, like, starting to understand some of that. And I think that actually brings us to the next track, Stranger Than Earth.
Which you said...
Which is pretty much my favorite song.
This is
like,
your
it's
favorite,
probably tied with some of the other songs that come later in the album. But that one, first time I heard it, it seems to me like that's the most deviated from the Shrine style. Like it's really EDM trap, and it's really like synth pop as well, and it's not trying to be dark as much. It's not trying to be in the background at all. Like it definitely has a lot of like huge in your face synths, and like and bass definitely.
Oh yeah, it's.
But then, like once I had heard it, like I actually didn't like it first time just because it was so different. Then after a few times, you hear the lyrics, and the lyrics are some of the most like thought provoking and interesting on that track. That I think is what got it to be my favorite song, and just like epic like chorus drops and stuff like that.
In every song, Megan James, her vocals are just blended in really well with the music. So a lot of times it's like really hard to understand. So you gotta like kind of like really pay attention sometimes if you want to listen to the lyrics.
Or just look up the lyrics.
Or you can just look them up.
But it's cool being a hipster and listening to the album like 5 times over until you actually know all the lyrics without looking them up. So
I mean, to this day, there's even like there's bands where I'll listen to an album. And it's just like, what the fuck are they even saying there? And then you look up the lyrics online, and you're just like, you gotta think, who the fuck figured this out?
Yeah.
And like that, sometimes that's how I feel about Purity Ring.
No, not really.
One of the most common ones that I've done that for is Let Live, because just sometimes it just evolves into Jason Butler just fucking frantically screaming and just like. Just the words just merge together, and it just sounds like fucking like animal roars, and you're just like, the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah, that's not really that much.
But it's not like that in this respect.
Like some of the words she's saying are very complicated.
But it's like the way that it's mixed, all of it is really cohesive, all blends together, and
I like
sometimes
that a lot. But you're right, it is sometimes hard to decipher the lyrics.
Yeah. But I do like the way it's done. I'm not saying I can't listen to the lyrics. It's shit. Because it's just if it's done nicely.
And,
yeah.
What we got? Next song is Begin Again.
Yes, it is Begin.
Which is the second starting side B of the LP. Which
you bought.
Which I bought. It's on.
Which I didn't buy because I didn't have money.
It's on white vinyl. I'm sorry, clear vinyl.
Oh yeah.
So if you're into that thing, go buy it. Yeah, it's cool shit.
Yeah, I listened. Begin Again was one of the singles. I listened to it after I heard Push Pull, and I basically was like, oh, like it made me realize, like, okay, they're definitely going for a different style than Shrines. It definitely sounds a little bit more synth poppy, definitely less dark, less ominous.
Yeah, I think I
But I
enjoyed.
wasn't necessarily like mad about it. I was
Yeah,
just like, okay, yeah. I mean, what can I say? I like synth pop, so
yeah, I think I enjoyed the single Push Pull more. Begin Again.
I do like Push Pull.
Yeah, Begin Again. I still like a lot. I think it's like she says "begin again" too many times. Um, that might be it. Like it's
You
like
know,
it's,
that's a valid
the
criticism.
lyrics are repetitive in that sense. Like I really sort of rely on Purity Ring to bring it with the lyrics. Because that's like I really think that sets them apart from other synth pop artists. Like I said, but yeah, Begin Again. That song's out there. I think it's got some pretty good radio play actually on like some like all stations.
Yeah, I think so. It's
So
it's definitely out there. Uh, Next is Dust Him.
yes,
I know you love
Dust
this.
Him is a great song. That's like you already listened to Body Ache Repetition. Like it's like the album continues to build up.
Yeah, it's another
with
one of those ones that just
with
kind of
this
pulls
song
you in.
too, and like it's like, but it's not even that. It's just another song that like pulls you in. It's
Yeah.
like it just brings the album like to another energy level, and like the whole album is sort of like climbing up a mountain, and then like the last song is like looking at the view from the top of the mountain. It's fucking glorious. But we're not there yet.
Good metaphor. Good metaphor. Do you have anything else to say? Or should we just move to the next one?
Dust Hymn's great. It's another like
It is good. It's a good one.
sort of faster paced song, but like they're going for more of like they're still like sticking with their like Witch House roots, but the way that Witch House is sort of like evolved a little, it's got a lot more of those like deep super saw synths that are carrying the sound, and like these last couple songs like really show that off and are really cohesive together.
After that, we have Float on the Floor, which
Fly on the Floor is great.
honestly I don't remember. I don't remember what it sounds like.
That's what we just listened to, "Hanging You Like a Lullaby." Which
Were
is
we
like,
just listening to it?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, that's one of the lyrics from the track. And I like that song a lot. I think it's not my favorite track on the album. Like it does come together really nicely, but I think it does have some of my favorite lyrics on the album because they're that like oddly sexual, but just like really really like they're not intended to be sexual. They're intended to be like beautiful. But it's just like a little. It's like a daring almost. Like it's just like a cool. I don't even know how to describe it, but I really do like that track. What's next?
Next is my favorite, which is Sea Castle.
Yes,
Because oh shit, Sea Castle.
that song was my favorite first time I heard the album.
It's still mine because how I felt about it was I was listening to the album, and the first time I had it on, I listened to it in the background because I was working in the studio. I was like doing like drawing or 3D modeling or something, but it was just in the background while I was working, and just it fucking hit me like a fucking brick. Like I just stopped, and I was just like, hold on. And I just had to start the song over and just sit there and fucking listen to it because it builds and the first chorus hits and it's just so like the bass and the drums and the synth and the lyrics all build up slowly to each other and then just hit on the chorus, and I had to just go back and I just had to listen to that build again because it's just
that it sneaks up on you, that track, and then it's like the peak of energy in the album.
Yeah, because it is the second to last song, so there's not much after it, but it's
that one's huge. It's got great melodies, great like song structure in general. The way they do the build up, like it's the same melody, it's the same like little like synth flare they have going, at like the beginning of each little section, but like it just builds the actual sounds, and the way they change is really nice, and like it's got a ton of energy. Love that song.
Then coming up to the last one, which is Stillness and Woe.
Stillness and Woe, yeah. This song could also be my favorite song, but just like in a different way. Like, I think this one is like, it's so much more mellow than the rest of the album, but like, it's not really like produced. Hold on.
Well, I mean, you said before it was like climbing up the mountain, and Sea Castle's like the last fucking strides, and Stillness and Woe is like enjoying the view. And I do agree with that, because it kind of, Stillness and Woe is, yeah, like you said, it's very soft, and it's just going from Sea Castle to that. It's just like,
yeah. There is a really nice transition between almost all of these songs.
It does flow really well.
Yeah, the whole album has a nice.
I've probably mentioned before, I love it when an album flows really well. So it's one of my favorite things.
Definitely.
Definitely really adds to an album.
Yeah, Sea Castle. Well. Stillness and Woe. It's got some really good lyrics, definitely. And it really, I think, in the beginning, it showcases Megan's voice the most. Because she sort of has like a solo in the intro. Without any beats or anything, it's sort of just like piano and synths. And then like,
it's probably like the clearest that you hear.
Yeah, probably. And then in that song, which I sort of wanted to talk about the album before, was that in that song, Stillness and Woe, there is a lot of like vocal editing to create the melody of the chorus, of the hook, and everything. And they did so much of that in Shrines, like almost all of the backing synths were processed vocals. But here in this new album, we're seeing so much more just like layered synth sounds, creating like a larger atmosphere in the tracks, and I'm liking it. I liked how experimental the other album was, and this is experimental to an extent.
Yeah, it doesn't go as far with the experimentation, but it's definitely like,
I think their lyrics give them their experimentation, and set them apart, like I've said. So yeah. If
we're
you guys,
we're fucking hipsters. Who the fuck listens to the lyrics besides us? I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys listen to the album, you should tell us what we think is wrong, or what you think is wrong about what we said, or right. I don't know. You can cut that part out.
I don't know. It's fine. We always like to hear, and if there's anything that you guys want to hear us talk about, always feel free to let us know. And if we like it, we'll talk about it. If we don't, we'll just be like, yeah, sorry, bro. Maybe occasionally we'll do albums that we hate, but
we'll just
normally if you see albums come up on this channel, we like them to at least an extent.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Like our Facebook page. It's going to be in the description. Like Joe's Facebook page. He does actual music shit instead of just talk about it.
Pezmobile.
Yep. Everything will be down there.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Peace out. And if you have not heard The Purity Ring, you got to check it out now. If you watch this, like why would you not? Like, you probably already definitely heard it if you're searching for reviews of it. Or maybe, I don't know.
I mean,
like watch a better review before. If you haven't heard it, watch a better review if you want to know more about it. I
mean, we just talk about the music. We don't really review it. We just say, "Yo, this is good. We like it.
Yeah.
Check it out." I mean, it's more suggestion than
more
review.
Recommendation and like overview. But yeah.
Thank you very much for watching.